Hi and welcome back to my channel. My name is Natalie or Nats, and you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Nats_knits with a Z _UK. If you are back to see me again, thank you so much. And if you're new to the channel, if you like what you see today, feel free to subscribe so you don't miss out on anything that I do in the future. I just wanted to take a little bit of time today, mainly because the lighting is quite good today and I recently got my hair did. So why not, whilst it's looking fresh, just jump on to do a quick video around my spring knitting plans. So today is the 30th of March, it's Mothering Sunday here in the UK, and it's also the first day of the clock going forward. So we get an extra hour of daylight today. I'm making the most of it. But spring is therefore pretty much fully sprung, and I do have plans for my spring knits, and I think that's what I'm going to do. I kind of, at the beginning of the year and at the beginning of me starting my channel, I thought to myself, what does my year ahead look like? And I talked about some of the things that I wanted to make. I'm going to have to chunk that down a little bit because my ambitions, as quite rightly they should be, are grand, and now I need to start thinking about, well, actually realistically, what can I achieve? Very much in a work frame of mind, what am I doing this quarter? So I have broken down some of the key things that I want to achieve between now and the end of June, basically, and I want to run you through what I'm looking at. So the first thing is actually just to finish a couple of things. So I have already started making these socks using West Yorkshire spinners. It's from their British Wild Birds range. I don't know what to call that. And I've done sock 1. I just want to make sure that this is finished. I am on to sock 2, which, without unraveling everything, I can show you here. That's about as far as I've got with sock 2. I fully expect those. They're just a basic vanilla sock using Kay Litton's socks on 9-inch circulars video tutorial. So I fully expect for those to be finished probably within the next week, maybe. But yeah, so they are number 1 on my list of things that I want to get finished for spring. Number 2 is my Staffin vest, which I have here. So you can see kind of my progress to date. So I yesterday picked up, well, day before yesterday I picked up for the collar, and yesterday I bound it off using a nice Italian bind off, which I'm very pleased with. It's only the second time I've ever done an Italian bind off, and I really like it. I put some pictures on Instagram, which you can always go and check out. Obviously I've got the sleeves to do, and I do have the rest of the body. So in my head I've got at the bottom here, I've got another sort of part of the crisscrossy pattern repeat to complete, and then it goes into a ribbing because it's a relatively cropped length. Now I'm thinking I might do the ribbing a little bit longer because I do generally prefer to have things so they're not sitting, because my tummy is probably my widest part of me, and I like to have things not quite sitting on top of my tummy. So I'll do it a little bit longer, and I am considering doing a split hem for it. Undecided at this stage because I've never done a split hem. So it may be, it may not be, but that is on my list of things that I would like to complete as well. Once those are completed though, obviously that's going to give me ample opportunity to start some new things for spring. So this is what's on my list of things that I want to start and complete in spring. I mentioned in my last podcast that I have signed up for a crochet along, which is quite ridiculous given the fact that I have literally been crocheting for 5 minutes. So on the 4th of April, Nitty Natty is starting a crochet along for her float tote pattern, and I have purchased everything that I need for the CAL. I'm using Lily's Sugar and Cream. It's the recommended fibre in the pattern. It's a tote bag, so you want it to be pretty robust and hard wearing. So I'm ready to go with that. I have loved the look of this bag since I started watching Nitty Natty's YouTube channel. I just thought it just looked like a really great project bag, but more importantly, the whole idea of it is that within the bag you have these yarn bowls that actually look very much like this, okay, but they've got poppers on the bottom, and there's sort of like a crochet tray that sits at the bottom of the bag, like a bag bottom, that these would kind of popper onto. So they're all nice and secure, they're holding your yarn, and the idea is that you're using it when you've got multiple colour projects, and it just means that you keep all of your yarn nicely organised and you're not going to get too tangled, but obviously it also doubles up as your project bag. So this is just a super cool idea. I really like the idea of it. I really wanted to crochet it, but I couldn't crochet it. So I have been working very hard to get my basic crochet skills up to scratch, and I'm going to do a crochet along that runs from the 4th of April to the 30th of April. And I think Nitty Natty is releasing some video tutorials to sort of enhance the pattern that's already out there. She has kind of suggested this is with new crocheters in mind. So I'm pretty hopeful that this will be good for me, and it will not only enhance my skills but also build my confidence in all things crochet, and I'll have a lovely bag at the end of it that I can use for all of my knitting projects. So that is number 1 on my list of things that I want to make this spring. The next thing that I want to make seems a little bit weird for saying it's a spring project, but my Auntie Carol is coming over from the States. She lives in Michigan and she is coming over in May for a little visit. So whenever she's in the UK, I do try and catch up with her. And she's relatively local in terms of where she's staying as well, which is great because a lot of the time when she comes, she's got a lot of people to catch up with because maybe comes every couple of years or something like that. So the fact that she's nice and close by works brilliantly. So we're going to go out for afternoon tea, do something nice that way. But she mentioned when she saw my cloudburst mittens that I made earlier in the year, she mentioned that they were a really practical and versatile glove, but that she found it difficult to get fingerless mittens where she is. And I suspect that's because Michigan must be bloody freezing in winter, and you know, sort of whilst practical, probably the preference is to have like full gloves, full mittens. But she wants some, so I was going to make her the cloudburst mittens. That was my plan because I already have that pattern and I know that it works really well and I enjoy making them. And I may still do that, but I may also go for a slightly different pattern. So chatting to one of my Instagram contacts, Knitting in the Desert, she highlighted a really lovely braided mitten pattern and she was able to point me in the right direction of it. So I'm really keen to do this. They're a heavier weight, they're like a worsted weight, or which I think in the UK is Aran weight, and they're called the Braided Hand Pattern by Bonnie Dean. It just looks really pretty, and you do have the opportunity to embellish it a little bit with embroidery. I probably won't, but I do have a nice yarn in mind that's really, really lovely and soft as well. So I think I'm going to make those first and foremost. If I have time, I may also do her a pair of the cloudburst mittens, and for that I'll utilise, I've got some Koigu merino left over from the sea salt socks that I made for a friend of mine, so I might do her maybe more of a spring weight as opposed to an Aran winter weight fingerless mitten as well, if I have time, because May is coming pretty quickly. So that is number 2 on my list of things that I want to make for spring. So that's the Braided Hand Mittens by Bonnie Dean. Number 3 is in preparation for my big brother's birthday. My big brother is the king, I think, of the nerds, and we love him for this, by the way. And he is, as a kid, I always remember him being a massive Doctor Who fan. I'll be honest, I don't know how into it he is nowadays. Doctor Who's changed a lot from, you know, sort of back in the 80s and 90s when we were kids. But he is still, you know, he is a massive Doctor Who nerd, if we go like traditional Doctor Who. And I saw Kay Litton was doing a pattern called the Police Box Socks. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. I forget the designer's name, but I'll put it on the screen. And these are TARDIS socks. And when I saw them, I was just like, they are literally my big brother's socks. There's nobody else in the world that I should make those for other than him, and I actually think he'll quite like them as well. So that is number 3 on my list of what I want to make in spring, and that's because it's his birthday in June. So I figure if I get them made in time for June, he can have them. If he is watching this, which I find highly unlikely, spoiler alert, but it will just be a little extra gift. It won't be your main birthday gift, but you will love these socks. Number 4 is maybe, again, a slightly interesting one. I think I should probably caveat this by saying that I am not actually a fast knitter. I don't think. I might be a medium speed knitter, but I mentioned before in my previous episode that I want to get ahead with Christmas gifts, because I don't want to be doing them in December. I want to be doing nice things for me in December. I'm seriously considering purchasing an advent calendar this year, and therefore I want to be able to enjoy that advent calendar if that's what I do. So I'm trying to get ahead with present making, all my gift knitting for Christmas, which means that I'm going to be making some weird stuff during the warmer months, because they'll be very wintry themed things. But I really want to do the Maxine hot water bottle by Laura Penrose. I want to make 2 of these actually. I've got 2 people in mind for these, and it's colour work, so it's going to need to be something that I take a little bit slower and pay a bit more attention to. I don't necessarily think it's the most complex of colour work, and it is a hot water bottle cover, so it fit wise, you know, and floats being too tight and stuff like that, probably not quite so critical, but I just want it to be nice. So it's for my stepdad's parents, and they're gonna have one each, and yeah, I just want it to be nice. So I'm going to take my time with that through spring, and it is also a small project. Typically, as I go through like spring, summer, you know, sort of you want a smaller project in your lap, don't you? So I figure as the weather starts to warm up, that's a small project. It won't be too weighty. I can do something with that in the warmer months. So I'm going to make at least 1 of them, if not 2, but definitely at least 1. So the Maxine hot water bottle cover is number 4 on my list of things that I want to make this spring. Lastly, number 5, and this is certainly if I have time, but I will have done my float tote. You know, obviously by that point, having done a crochet along, I will think I am an actual crocheter. I never really know crocheter. Who knows how to say it. It looks like crocheter, but crocheter. I'll be able to crochet at some kind of level. And I've been watching Little Drops of Wonderful, and she was making a Hexi Cardi. So that's Ali from Little Drops of Wonderful. She's a new channel to me, because I haven't really done much with crochet previously, but I've started looking for a few crochet podcasts, and I love this woman. I love her. I think if I knew her in real life, she would be one of my best friends, because she's just hilarious and understated, to my boisterous and loud, and think I'm funny but probably aren't as funny, because I try too hard. She's just lovely, and she was making a Hexi Cardi, and I thought, what a fantastic concept. You know, you make these crochet hexagons and then you kind of seam them up and they become a cardigan. And I really like the look of it. She's done one in lots of lovely different colours. She was, I guess, using maybe scraps, or maybe she was using advent calendars. I'm not sure. But I really liked it, and she linked the pattern, and I went and had a look at the pattern. There's like video tutorials, so again, I love a video tutorial. It really helps me when I'm learning something new. But I have a mystery yarn which is up there, but they've all been organised. I've now got stuff in boxes in my little stash behind me. But I have a mystery yarn, and it's a lot of yarn, certainly enough to make like a cropped cardigan. And I thought it's all one colour, it's like a tealy kind of colour, but there is like sort of luminance in the yarn. And I thought, do you know what? I don't know what else to do with that, but that might be a great project. I'm going on a cruise in October, and although it's a med cruise and October will still be relatively warm, I might need just a little something to throw on, you know, when I'm out on deck, being fabulous because I'm on a cruise, just to kind of like take the chill off as I'm walking out on deck and what have you. So my plan is to make a Hexi Cardi, and possibly also maybe like sort of make some elements of it that are knitted. You know, like a bit of ribbing along the bottom, for example. I'm not sure. I'm going to have a play with it, but I certainly at least want to start it, possibly not finish it in spring, but at least start it in spring and have like sort of one of the hexes completed, because it's made up of 2 gigantic hexes. I think that's doable. Like, crochet goes quite quickly, doesn't it? So if I've enhanced my skills a little bit as a result of doing the float tote and I'm feeling a bit more confident, then I think it's a possibility that I might be able to get at least one of the hexes done. And it's all video tutorials. I'm feeling kind of confident that I could do that, especially given that the other projects I have in spring are socks, are hot water bottles, and, you know, sort of the crochet along the float tote bag, although it's bigger, will be done by the end of April. So I've still got May and June. So I've got smaller projects. This will be quite a big project, and it will be something very different for me because it's crochet, but I'm going to give it a bash and hope for the best. If you like the sound of what I've got planned, then why not subscribe, follow along and see how I do. I'll give regular updates in my normal podcast format. For now though, I think what I'll do is get cracking with finishing off these current whips so that I can get started on all of these lovely spring goodies. Thank you very much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you on another episode. But for now, as they say around here, it's ta-ra a bit for me.